Hey, what is up, YouTube? It's your girl Miranda here, and we got a bit of a different video coming at you today. One of my viewers sent me a seal pool that they were struggling with, and we're going to take a look and give it a shot and see if we can make a deck out of this. This would be ideally I would have the actual cards because I find it easier to visualize and sort the cards when I have them in front of me, but we'll have to do a SweetDB list instead. So what you're not seeing here are the leaders. So this is kind of just the placeholder up here. So the leaders we have are actually pretty bad selection of leaders here. So this pool has double C3PO, Luthen, Jabba, Satine, and Sly. So half of those are kind of unplayable. So we really don't want to play C3PO or Satine. Um, they're just they're just not very good. I mean, we'll play them if we absolutely have to, but I'm really strongly leaning towards one of the other leaders. So if we end up heroic, like Luthen is really our only viable option. And then if you want to go villainy, both Jabba and Sly are very, very solid. So just a quick note, I'm a little lower energy just because like my health has just been in the shitters. And I'm also like recording at night, which is why the lighting is all weird. So I typically record my videos like during the day for optimal lighting conditions, but I have been putting this off for like a week, and I'm just like, you know what? I'm just gonna do it now. So let's go ahead and get started. So when I'm building a sealed deck, as I'm opening packs, what I will do like right at the very start is I'll filter out all the chaff cards. All the cards I think are either unplayable or only like very, very like corner case playable. So that's what we're going to do here. So I mean, I would also cost sort them, but we're kind of working within the limits of the online platform here. So ISB agent is so I have a duplicated version of this list. So any changes we make, I will have the backup version, so we can look at our sideboard cards. Actually, we can just throw them in sideboard. That actually makes way more sense. So ISB agent, just because you're not going to be playing very many events, this card is like it's playable, but it's not very good. So I'm going to shove that down to the sideboard. Reckless Rebel is only really good in a Leia deck, so we're going to shove that into our sideboard. Sender's Aid, this card is not very good. Shove that into the sideboard. General's Imposter, quite good. Guiding Den is fine. Um, we'll leave him we'll leave him here for now, but for Occupier is good. Jar Jar Binks is good. Regulations Bureaucrat. Let's get rid of these guys. Sith Assassin. We want to keep that. I'm actually going to make this a little. I wanted to like make it super big so y'all can see it, but you can't even see the cards. Feed Security. Yeah, it's fine. It's playable. Viper Pro Droid. Yeah, yeah. So Chancellor Palpatine is like pretty close to being a bomb. So this is making me lean towards villainy. So let's just keep that in mind. Um, but neither one of our villainy leaders are green, so we really need to look for either some vigilance cards or some cunning cards. All right, so yeah, we keep that. We keep that. This is, I mean, I have played this card, but it's not really a card that I'm looking to play. So we might grab that out of the sideboard. That's fine. Rebel Propagandist is fine. All right, so a lot of these are actually really like covert operative. It's not like incredible, but this has been a very solid beater for me. All right, yeah, these are all fine. This card is okay. Mirage Sintel, this is a rare. Um, yeah, it's fine. I mean, we're really just looking to cut like the really like unplayable cards. So Double Dedra is actually quite good. So we're kind of leaning more towards villainy. So um, what we're looking for are either strong vigilance cards or strong cunning cards so that we can narrow down our leader selection. It's unfortunately we do want to be in command because of the Palpatine and double Didra, but we can't pick aggression as our third color because then we won't have a leader for it. All right, so that's fine. That's fine. This card is quite good. So here's, it's an aggression card. So if we're playing this, it's not going to be in it's not going to be in the villainy deck. So lead squad, this card is like super slow. But I have found that this is kind of a slower format, so you do actually get to 8. But there are some common 8 drops I would prefer to have over this. A-Wing is again it's only really good in Leia. It's not unplayable, but that's something like we'll revisit when we go through the sideboard. Diplomatic Envoy. I have actually used this like with the ambush before, so it's not unplayable. So here we have 2 Zeniwa Shadow Fighter. So when we get to the next phase of our seal pool, that's going to be a major factor. So spoilers for where this is going. Ebon Hawk is a very good card. I mean, I had it in a Padme deck where it was my MVP. Like that card was busted. It was so good. So HUD Cartel is really good. So at this point, we have found some good yellow cards. So I'm kind of leaning towards Sly at this point, but let's look at the rest of what we have. I guess I was busy yapping, so I wasn't actually evaluating these cards, but yeah, Lightmaker, if we decide to go heroic, that would be a good card. I think this card is very overrated for Premier, but for limited, it's still quite good. Crucible is another extremely good card, especially in a slide deck, because boy, just having a big experience Pinata seems really good. Catmull is pretty good too. We also have so like our command is quite deep, and our villainy command especially. So that's very much where I'm leaning. This is like borderline playable. I'm gonna throw that in the sideboard for now. This is another great cunning card. I love catch unawares. Okay, so I'm very heavily leaning towards Sly Green at this point, but let's look at the rest of the pool. This card is not very good. Aggressive Negotiations is absolutely broken. I had a draft deck where like this was my first pick overall, and I think I won all but one game where I drew it, and like the game that I lost was one where I was like super far behind. So that card is quite very good. I would actually consider playing this out of aspect, because it basically just wins you the game out of nowhere sometimes. So we'll definitely leave that in there for now. So let's call it War is not a card I would play out of aspect, but it's very solid. Wrong Ride, not a card you want to play in limited. Unauthorized Investigation. This is it's very dependent on your deck. Like most decks aren't interested in this. If you're playing like a dedicated spy spam deck, like this is what you would want. But that's more for draft than for sealed. Okay, so this is not a good card. This card's unplayable. Armor Fortune, it's fine. If it didn't have plot, I would never play it. With plot, it's a card that most usually makes the cut. This card is poo-poo. And this card is, again, because it has plot, it's playable. So the next thing we do, the next thing I do when I'm building a seal deck is I already have it sorted by curve. So if I have physical cards in front of me, like this would already be sorted by curve. And I look at which color combination gives me the most turn 1 and turn 2 plays. And that's weighted towards the turn 1 plays. So like if I have like 12 turn 2 plays and like 2 turn 1 plays, that's not what I'm looking for. So that's really where we want to concentrate. So just because like in Star Wars Unlimited, if you skip your first turn and if you skip your first two turns, you've basically lost the game. Not 100% of the time, but you are super, super far behind. So we want to really maximize our chances of having something to do on the first turn. Now, that said, you don't want to play bad turn one plays. Like, you want to still play cards that, like, do something, like cards that pressure your opponents either by hitting their base for a lot or by favorably trading with their units. So that's what we're looking for. Like, we're not looking to play like 1/4 do nothings. We're not looking to play like 0/4 do nothings or stuff like that. So, anyways, so let's look at just our two drops. So in for two drops, we have one, two, three, and Jar Jar doesn't really count, but four, and because the space units are separated out. So I'm just counting how many we have. So which color combination would actually give us the most? So definitely, because we have like mono villainy. So we have one, two, we have two mono villainy, or actually three, because we have double Sith assassin. So we have three mono villainy and no mono heroism. And then looking at space units, we just have yellow and green. So that's okay. So I'm very much like, I think that's kind of a no-brainer at this point to go into Sly Command. I think that makes the most amount of sense because we get to make use of our best cards, which are the Chancellor Palpatine and the double Dedramiro. And that gives us the kind of like the deepest pool of cards to work with, and it also gives us the deepest pool of cards to work with in the turn one play slots. So I'm going to get rid of every card we don't want for that deck, so all the cards that are not in aspect. Although I'm going to keep that aggressive negotiations because that is still totally fine to play out of aspect. So we'll cut the Chandrilan sponsors. And if we need to revisit things, we can. So I just want to take a look and see what this will look like. So, I mean, there are a fair amount of heroism. So I may go back and look at that later. But let's just take a look and see what the Sly command deck looks like. Okay, so let's go ahead and start cutting cards that we don't want to play in that deck. We even get like Elia Kane and Lone Sharks, so, and Cruel Commandos. We get double Duchess Investigators, which is fine, but like assuages some of my like fears that like we might not have enough playables, but we should. It's looking pretty deep here. You cut you, cut you, cut you, and then space. Wait, Great Veteran isn't a space unit. What are you doing down here, you silly fella? That's not where you belong. I don't want to like gaslight myself. Like, hold on. Where's Crate Veteran? Crate Veteran. I want to make sure that. Oh, I've been clicking zeros. Whoops. Whoops. I meant to. All right. I'm going to reload this. Through the magic of editing, this mistake will be corrected. So, all right, so we're back. I fixed it. So Create a Veteran is indeed a ground unit. I was like, is Swoody B trying to gaslight me into thinking this guy has been a space unit this whole time? It's like, no, it just miscategorized. Okay, that's fine. So we'll go through. Oh, I forgot we had Ebenog. Oh my god. All right. So let's keep cutting our out of aspect cards. Oh, this card's gonna be so good in this deck. Man, this deck is actually kind of it's coming together. I reloaded this, so some of the cards we cut earlier might have shown up again, but that card is probably going back in. But I want to get back to where we were. Wait, where did our oh yeah, that aggressive negotiations going back in. All right, and then armor. We're not playing Armor of Fortune. We're not playing Clandestine Connections. Okay, so we have 32 playable cards, so we can actually we have more than enough playables, so we can actually cut some cards here. So how many turn one plays do we have? We have one, two, three, four, five, six. Oh, sorry, five, six, seven, eight. We could play A-Wing. We could play ISB agents. We actually have 6 events, so ISB agent is not terrible. Um, so let's start by cutting. So we don't want to cut any any of these turn one plays. Maybe Garindan. Yeah, we might cut Garindan. I like to say it that way, Garindan, like it's Japanese. um, let's see. Yeah, we might want to cut this guy just because it's just we have better plot cards, honestly, and this guy's kind of like low impact. So we can bring in some other 2 cost cards from the sideboard. All right, so just looking through for any cards that are like kind of on the weak side, or cards that like we have too much of in a particular part of our curve. So at 3 we have, well, Palpatine doesn't count because we're going to be plotting him. So we have at 3 we have Darrow Commando, we have Ebonhawk, we have Hut Cartel. Lurking Snub Fighter is fine to play at 3. Like it's not the most exciting plot card in the world. So there's 4. And then at 4 we have Nubian Starskiff and Lone Shark and Ilia Cadence. There's only 3. We do have Ferric Uprising as well, so that's 4. And Contempt for Culture actually counts as a turn 1 play because if you're on the draw and they play something that this kills, you would rather play this than play a unit because that's you're so far ahead in that exchange. I mean, you still want to keep a hand that like has an actual turn 1 play because they may play something that has 3 or more health, but yeah, it's just a huge blowout if you can get this. So so just looking through, okay, so we can cut this Sneaking Suspicion. It's fine, but we have good cards here, so I don't think it's necessary. What else? What else is kind of on the weak side? I don't want to cut Lurking Snub Fighters because it's an early play. It is, I mean, this is on the weak side, but like we're not so deep in our 3 drops that we can cut it. And then for 6 drops, we have Double Dedra Miro, we have Naboo Security Force, and Crucible. We also have a first. I definitely want to keep this First Light. Definitely want to keep Crucible. Yeah, I mean, I don't think we need to cut any of the big cards. Ooh, so what does this work? Oh yes, this can work with if we deploy on curve, so on 5R, this lets us ambush out of 4. So we have Nubian Starskiff, and Lone Shark already has ambush, so it doesn't really do anything there. And we have Elia Kane, which is very good to ambush with as well. So, but you can always just ambush with a 3. You can even like plot Palpatine and fully armed and operational and ambush with like one of your spy tokens if you really want to. But this is a card I could see cutting just because we don't really have that many cards to work with it. But the potential for blowouts is yeah, and it's just like it has plot. So worst case scenario is you resource it and you don't use it. I definitely want to keep these Catchawares just to get those value trades. So we're at 30 cards. So I think at this point, I would prefer to have slightly more early plays. So this is where so like if I was building this in paper, I would like, okay, we've got 30 cards. Now let's look through our sideboard, the cards that we cut, and reconsider if any of them should make the deck. So Here, A-Wing is A-Wing worth cutting, is worth playing, is worth cutting any of these cards for? I don't think so. So we have one, two, three, six. We also have the Screeching TIE Fighter, um, which I think the A-Wing is just better. There's also ISB Agent. We do have 6 events in our deck, but I don't think we really needed that much. We could play Accelerate Our Plans, but Aggressive Negotiations kind of fulfills the same role. So I don't think it's necessary. Like if I didn't have this Aggressive Negotiations, that's not how you say that word. If I didn't have this Aggressive Negotiations, I would consider playing this Accelerate Our Plans just because like we're playing Sly, so we're gonna have some units we can exhaust, but um yeah, I don't think it's super necessary for this deck. Uh, do we have any official synergy? That's a question we should answer. So, off the top of my head, I don't think so, but let's double check. Uh, mhm. I could cut one of these Duchess Investigators for one of those turn one or for one of those turn one plays because this card's like not that good. And like our deck is mostly so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 command symbols, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's pretty balanced actually between commands and cunning symbols. So if for disclose purposes, like should be fine. Um, but I think we can definitely cut one of these just to make our curve a little bit lower. Um, okay, but let's take another quick look here. Yeah, this gutting done is yeah, I don't think it's like I would rather play like an A-wing over Garandin, I'm pretty sure. Anything else? This card is just poopy. Sneaking, yeah. So that was that was our last cut. Anything else that we can consider? No, I don't want to play the wrong ride. That is a card for premiere. So yeah, at this point, I'm actually happy with the deck the way it is, but I always kind of like prefer to err on the side of having more early plays. So, like we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 drops. Yeah, I think we can cut a dot. Like this is like you could play 2, it'd be fine. This is just kind of like my own personal preference, but yeah, let's play this A-wing. You could also play the Garandan, like there's nothing wrong with that. I just preferred my early plays to actually do damage. And the fact that this is a space unit means it's more likely to survive the first few turns. So yeah, this is where I would go with this deck. Let's get our deck image. So you just ignore all these sideboard cards, and then and it's like you can actually sideboard with this. So we do have a fair amount of events, like more than a limited deck typically would. So if your opponent has a bunch of like 1 health units, like I would bring in the ISB agent. I would cut like I would cut the A-wing for it probably. And then everything else is, you know, just whatever. So this like 3-drop official lady, you know, if we had some official synergies, that is something I would consider playing, but our deck doesn't care about officials. So, um, yeah. Um, last thing I want to do is look at the curve, which I think I have to save the deck for to do that. How do I? Oh my god, I'm boomering. No, I'm boomering. View deck. More actions? Nope. Nope. We don't want to do that. Oh, I think I found it. Math. There we go. Math. Cool. So, looking at our cost curve, so this one I would just include it in with the twos. Yeah, I would actually consider cutting one of the six drops. So let's see. We don't want to cut a Dedra because Dedra is like extremely good. Naboo Security Force also very good. So is Crucible. So, um, no, they're all good. So I wouldn't cut any of them. Never mind. Yeah, I think this is where I would end up. And then if you would prefer to play if you prefer to play the second Duchess Investigators over the A Wing, that's totally fine. Again, I just like to have a whole lot of two drops. You could also play like the A Wing and the Screeching TIE Fighter, just because we're playing Slice, so going like double one drop, but like you're unlikely to draw it, so no, I just talked myself out of it. So, all right, yep, this is if I had this seal pool, this is what I would play. Not with this leader in base, obviously. So this would be with Sly Moore and a green base. Highlights of the deck is we have really good plot cards. So we have Jar Jar, we have Chancellor, which is like one of the best plot cards. I don't really count this as a plot card because it comes out at 7, but we also have First Light. We have like really good ambushers. So we have Lone Shark. We have Double Dedra. Like Dedra's like super strong, and we also have First Lights. And then we also have Fully Armed Operational to give something ambush on our deploy turn. We have aggressive negotiations to close out the game. We have a couple removal cards. We have Contempt for Culture and Ferrex Uprising. Ferrex Uprising is going to be extremely strong in this deck because we're going to have like a ton of spies. And then we have like a fair amount of space units as well. So I think this deck is quite solid. So yeah, I'd be happy to get the seal pool. Let me know in the comments if you would have built this differently. And if you'd like to see more videos like this, let me know. And for coming up, I have a couple ideas for some draft videos that I want to do, but it's hard for me to make videos these days, so I'm trying my best. So hopefully you enjoyed this, hopefully you learned something, and hopefully you have fun in your future limited events. Until next time, bye.